Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, also known as Sly Raccoon in Europe for no good reason, was a game I never really cared too much for as a kid. Don't get me wrong, the game is pretty good, it's not bad at all. It's just that my first encounter with the Sly series was Sly 2. And Sly 2, well, let's be honest, it's much better than Sly 1. But who the hell cares about my history with the game? Point is, opinions change, and I decided to go back and replay it, even though I've replayed it before already, and this is just an excuse to make a review, so fuck you. I'll be looking at the US version of the PlayStation 3 HD collection. Why? Well, why not? So, let's get on with it. Sly Cooper is a platforming game, but it has an emphasis on stealth. That basically means don't get seen, enemies will kill you. And that's pretty much true, because Sly dies from a single hit. You can get a lucky charm, which is basically a horseshoe that you strap to your back. Lucky charm gives you an extra hit, and you can get up to 2. Silver one gives you 1 extra hit, gold gives you 2. Get more than that and you get an extra life. You can find those in the overworld, in the stages, or every time you collect 100 coins. The dying from a single hit thing was one of the things that turned me off of the game as a kid, because the sequels used a health bar. But we're not here to talk about Sly 2 now, are we? So shut the fuck up. The game is by no means cheap though. Well, in some places kinda, but the game gives you plenty of time to react, so if you fucked up, it's probably your own fault, you dickhead. The game has tight controls and a great art style, which is kind of reminiscent of a cartoon. The graphics were pretty good for 2002 anyways, and they hold up okay. Unless it's in a cutscene in which Sly's mouth looks fucking weird.
Feel that Cooper vibe a-coming. Most distastefully bad juju.
Yeah, well, you give me the creeps too, lady. Cooking up an army of ghosts isn't a very neighborly pastime.
Keep in mind, this is the HD collection, so the resolution is higher and we have widescreen. This is where you're supposed to applaud. The game starts out with Sly breaking into a police station to steal a file they have on him. This is a pretty good tutorial area, as you learn the basics of the game, but without being too hand-holdy.
According to my research, all you have to do is get near them and hold down the circle button, and you should perform a super sneaky master thief move.
Inside the police station, we're also introduced to Inspector Carmelita Fox and her gun. She's kind of the love interest, and yeah. After escaping, we get the backstory. Sly comes from a long line of master thieves, who wrote all their skills down in a book. The book is of course called the Thievius Raccoonus, hence the title of the game. And the book has been passed down the family for generations. However, the night before Sly is supposed to inherit the book, a group of thieves called the Fiendish Five breaks into their house and murders Sly's parents right in front of him. And then they steal the book for themselves. You know, kids game stuff. After that lovely experience, Sly is thrown into an orphanage. In the orphanage he meets Bentley and Murray, who becomes his partners in crime. This is by no means the greatest story in the world, but it gives the player reason enough to want to kick the boss's teeth in, and it's a kids game, so what could you expect? The game is split into 5 episodes. Each episode, except the final one, starts out with Sly making his way into the episode's hub world. These introductory levels are a great way to give the player a taste of what kinds of enemies and hazards to expect from the rest of the episode. In the first episode, named Tides of Terror, Sly and the gang heads to England to stop the first member of the Fiendish Five, Sir Raleigh the Frog. To do that, Sly has to get a hold of 6 keys. That's something you'll have to do for every episode, except the final one. To get a key, you need to do missions. And the missions vary a lot, but most of them involve a nice mix of stealth, exploration and platforming. The levels are quite linear, but you still have a sense of openness. There are, of course, terrible exceptions. But we'll get back to that in a bit. In each levels there are clue bottles. You collect clue bottles to unlock a safe. These are kind of fun and gives great replay value in case you suck at finding them your first time playing through the level. The safe usually gives you a new move to use. Most of the moves are pretty useless, but some of them are quite good. After you've done a little bit of this and that and gotten all the keys, you gotta beat up Sir Raleigh the Frog. His boss fight is pathetically easy. He eats a fly, he gets super big, then he jumps around a bit while you run back and forth until he spits it out and you can hit him. Rinse and repeat. I mean, it's the first boss, but come on, put up a little bit of a fight, you stupid asshole. And after you've beaten him, you get some pages from the Thievius Raccoonus. Episode 2, 3 and 4 are actually structured very similarly to episode 1, so I shan't go over it in much detail. Episode 2 has Sly and the gang going to Mesa City in America to beat Mugshot, and as I said, it's the same deal. Do missions, get keys open, and the boss fight. Mugshot's boss fight is a bit weird though. You just kinda run around hitting mirrors to make his guns evaporate. I don't get it. Episode 3 is set in a swampy, spooky setting in Haiti. Or Haiti. Haiti! Who fucking knows how to pronounce it? I can look it up, but I won't. And the villain this time is Miss Ruby. A weird crocodile voodoo woman who is pretty weird, as I stated. Her boss fight is basically Guitar Hero. You just hit the button that shows up in sync with the music. However, in the HD version, they fucked it up. So now the music is out of sync with the notes, yay! However, this seems to have been patched now because I didn't really experience it this time. But then again, last time I played it on the European version, so who knows. Look it up yourselves, cause I'm lazy. Episode 4, you go to China to fight the Panda King. The game calls him a firework criminal, he uses fireworks to bomb things, but this guy's a straight up terrorist, man, I'm telling you. You can fucking see him launching rockets at a mountain, making the mountain crumble down on a village, killing lots of people. That's good. No wait, that's bad. He's a terrorist. As I said earlier, there are exceptions to the normal missions. And these are by far the worst parts of the game. I'm speaking, of course, of the minigames. Fuck the minigames. Seriously, they fucking suck. Not only are they mandatory to beating the episode, they also control very differently and are incredibly punishing. Mostly because the hardest minigames show up early in the game, while easier ones show up later. This is because they moved the episode order around. Don't ask why, I don't know. Take this one for instance. You have to break treasure chests before crabs collect them because... no reason. Why not just grab the fucking key slide, it's right there. Then there's a racing minigame and holy shit, it's so fucking slippery. Not to mention that without the boost you have zero chance of winning the damn thing. This is repeated twice, and the second time it's actually easy. How did you fuck this up? There's also a turret game where you have to defend Murray. This one is okay, I guess. Still not fun. Yay. Fuck the minigames. Fuck the minigames. There's also some missions that are just fucking weird. Like, there's one you have to murder 50 chickens to get a key from a ghost. Don't ask. Also, the brown chickens are suicide bombers. I don't know what to make of that. Episode 5. That's where the shit gets real. The whole episode is basically one big mission. It starts up with an on-rails shooter, which I'm not really that big of a fan of, but it's pretty easy and short, so I won't complain too much. The only thing is that the crosshair looks really fucking weird. After you're done with that, you have to crash into 60 monitors to hack them while defending them from lava monsters.
Don't even ask.
After that, you get a more normal platforming level, where your objective is to rescue Carmelita Fox. But whoa-oh, it's a trap, who would have guessed? Sly gets gassed, and to save him, Bentley has to play a hacking minigame. The hacking minigame is a pretty simple shmup, kinda, and it shouldn't give you too much trouble. You just move around with the left stick and aim and shoot with the right stick. Pretty simple. After turning off the gas, Sly wakes up, he rescues Carmelita, and they decide to work together to stop Clockwork. But after he rescues her, his cane gets fucking taken by a fucking owl. How do you even do that, Sly? Get your shit together, man. So now we gotta play as Carmelita in pretty much the same minigame as when we defended Murray. Yay! And then there's a normal platforming level again. This one is actually quite challenging though, as you have to climb up to the top of a clockwork tower before the lava reaches you and get to Carmelita's backpack. Finally, after all that shit is over with, we fight the big bad himself, Clockwork. Clockwork is the leader of the Fiendish Five and the arch nemesis of the Cooper clan. You see, he has apparently kept himself alive for centuries by replacing his body with a mechanical one, and is basically fueled by hate, so he's quite a swell guy. His boss fight is kind of a mix of rail shooter and Superman 64, but, you know, with good controls, so not like Superman 64. That's a bit underwhelming, but good enough. And after beating his head in with the cane, that's it. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus comes to an end. Or does it? So in case this review was terrible and you didn't get my impressions of the game, my impressions are, it's a pretty damn good game. It's not the best game in the world, but it certainly isn't bad either. It's a good start to a pretty great trilogy of games for the PlayStation 2. If you get a chance to buy it, or the HD trilogy, I say do that. Especially the HD trilogy, because you get Sly 2 and 3 as well, and those games are the shit. I might make more reviews, I'm not really sure if this is going to be good at all, so if you would like to leave feedback, that would be great.